everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Monroe MustHangs interview series and podcast. I'm your host, Director of Sports Information at Monroe College, David Spiegel. And my second guest, longtime member of the Monroe family, holds a lot of titles: athletics facilities and event manager, director of baseball operations, assistant baseball coach, first base coach, all the above. One of the most highly regarded members of our staff, Francis Santos.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Of course, thanks for coming on. Like I said, I think you're one of the most highly regarded members of our staff. I don't think anybody's ever had a bad thing to say about you. In my 3 years at Monroe, I know you've been one of the most helpful people to me in everything that we do. So I just wanted to tell the world a little bit more about you.
Appreciate it, Dave.
So, Francis, you've been at Monroe since, I believe, 2009. Started with the baseball team. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, I've been here since 2009. I first started as an assistant coach, helping Lou out. I'm very grateful for the opportunity that he has given me, and the Monroe community, the Monroe College community has given me. I've become a better person, have grown throughout the college community, and as you know, it's not easy starting off fresh out of college and just going into the college world and the work world. So I'm very thankful for the opportunity that Lou has given me in the college community.
And of course, you started here, like I said, 2009. I think it was 2011. You took over facility management and events management for us, and then 2012 got an even better title with the baseball team, director of baseball operations. So what is it exactly that you do?
So baseball facility events, it's all about running the show. I oversee team practicing, and at the end of the day, you want to give them a show to the fans. So it's like a rehearsal, and when it comes to Broadway show, there it is. So it's my responsibility to make sure that every operation is run smoothly, the way it should be. Entertain the fans, make sure that everything is run, the families and the college community, with the players, and it just basically, you're behind the scenes and just make sure that everything is going smooth for the whole entire operation. As a baseball operation, I'm also like in charge of doing a lot of scouting, a lot of developing. A lot of players ask me for recruiting video. Hey, can you do some video for me? I'm like, sure, why not? Obviously I do a lot of editing, for the kids, and I mostly do it for them for 4-year schools. When I was a young player, we didn't have all these social media, all the video developing program that we have now. So I think it's a great opportunity for our kids to get out there, get recognized, and show them their ability, and then show them that they can play at the next level.
So as I said, you do a lot of things for us around here. And as you just mentioned, something that you do that has nothing to do with actually your job is that you do a lot of video, a lot of photography, and it's really just another benefit to our department. What kind of got you into photography and videography and just wanting to learn more about that?
So I went to high school in New York City. I was born and raised in Washington Heights, Dominican heritage. I was very undecided in high school, so I found something that keeps me, that I want to do something as a hobby. So photography was like a hobby. I majored in photography in high school. When we're talking about photography, we're talking about black and white films, from developing films from scratch, not the digital style now. So, so I got into it. I got to understand a little bit more. And, we did a lot of video productions and stuff. I'm like, you know what? This is something I could use in the future. It's not something in college that I would like to do, but this is something that I learned. So a couple of years ago, I just backtracked a lot of stuff. I'm like, I need to do something, find a hobby. Let me shoot. Let me take some photos. Let me do some videos, help out the kids. It's all about helping the kids out. It's giving back to the kids, to the community. But it's just, and I guess I just started shooting and becoming better at it again. It's hard to shoot a movement object when it's fast paced, and I've been very fortunate to learn a lot every day you're learning something new. You know, so I just try to be creative as much as I can.
Well, I know that's definitely been helpful to me, whenever I need some sort of photos or videos. And I know you've been taking a lot of drone photos and videos of our fields and our brand new painted gym floor and everything like that. So I definitely appreciate when you do all that because it obviously helps me out a bunch. So let's go back to when you were a college baseball player at Briarcliff College. I believe you were a first team All American shortstop. I could tell you also, you like to work with our infielders a lot. So tell me a little bit more about your playing days, especially in college.
So, as I said, I grew up in Manhattan. I went to Graphic Art High School. Wasn't known well for baseball, but there was a lot of teams. I could have gone to George Washington High School where Manny Ramirez went to school. That was a big powerhouse in my community. So I decided to go away a little bit. I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to be something better than others. So I went to high school with graphic arts, put up some numbers. I was grateful to play a great summer ball team. We called the Metro Cadets. Out of 25 players, 22 of us got drafted in that team in 1 year. It was great. It was great. I had a great coach, a good mentor at that time. He passed away not too long ago. But I was very fortunate to end up going to Briarcliff through him. At that time, Briarcliff was a big powerhouse in the Northeast for JUCO. So I took the opportunity to play at JUCO. First year as a college player, you usually go through a lot of obstacles, up and downs and stuff. So I did struggle when it came to the adjustments of high school baseball to college ball. It was a lot. I had a lot going through my mind at that time. And, being away from home for the first time, it's not easy as a freshman. And having that support from your family was a little tough. I was a one single parent. Everything he could have gave me, I try to appreciate every moment, but I struggled my first year, under a different coach. My second year, I kind of developed myself as a big Northeast player and became All-American, 3-time All-American, won a national title with Briarcliff at that year. And, my playing career ended my senior year, I believe, my senior year, with an accident that I had on the field. And, I'm very fortunate. A lot of players wants to play at the next level, but, reality is I was just focusing more on my education, getting that degree. If something was meant to happen at the next step, I'm thankful. But other than that, I was just focusing on my degree. And, if I was able to play at the next level, then, I think I should have worked harder or just play the game that you love. But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. It's only 1% that makes it, and you just got to keep moving on in life.
Well, of course, you continue to stay involved in baseball, obviously making a career out of it now. What do you think being a student athlete yourself has done to help you as a coach?
So as a student athlete, when I was as a player, it was a little tough. Not a lot of coaches does what we do here at Monroe. So I personally engage with the students a lot. I would like to know where they come from, what kind of background, what kind of person, their personality, what type of family they come from. That for me, it's very important because basically you are their big brothers, big sister, big brother in campus. They look out for you. They are your responsibility pretty much, and you got to be able to have that comfort zone with them. Obviously it's all about taking care of business on the field and in the classroom, but when it comes to personal stuff, I'm more than open. I have an open door, and they could come to talk to me anytime they want. And it's just more about giving them the opportunity, something that I didn't have, when I was younger, or when they have a lot of things to do now than back then. They have facilities. we didn't have facilities. I didn't have indoor facilities or the videos features that we do now and all the scouting reports, But it's very I'm very grateful for the opportunity to give them, and something I hope they learn from me. And I never ask for anything in return. As long as they appreciate the time that I give them all the time, I'm thankful for that.
And one thing that new student athletes will quickly find out when they come to Monroe, and something that every athlete that's gone through our system here knows, is that the first face you see when you walk into the Monroe Athletic Complex is you. Like you said, your door is always open. We see students sitting in there all the time when you're not in there, just kind of waiting for you or just hanging out, waiting for you to come back. So obviously you have a tremendous relationship with not just our baseball players, because it's the soccer players, the volleyball players, the basketball players. They're all kind of sitting there waiting to talk to you every day. So even right before they go and see the trainers, they come and stop in with you. So any new student athlete that sees this, just know that this is the guy you're going to see every single time you walk into the MAC, every single day.
Yeah, it's
So
a lot of, I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to feel like they're home. They have someone to talk to. It's just something. It's just, I was raised like that. I want them to know that we care, that I care, and then we there for them. I had basketball players in the past. Hey, can we get extra shots? Yeah, sure. Why not? Are you gonna come one time you're coming in? 6 o'clock. Can I come in at that time, get some shoot around? Yeah, why not? At the end of the day, Dave, it's something for them. I want them to become better. I want them to be better, and to take that for the next level, I think it's great.
And I think one thing you definitely pride yourself on is being a hard worker. We've had people in our department that tell students not to be like you, because you devote so much time and effort into just making sure that everything runs smoothly in our facilities. I usually tell them the opposite, that they should take a look at you and kind of try to mirror that. Obviously, you've devoted a lot of your life to our department. I know a lot of people really appreciate that, but just taking it to another part of what you do is, you do run the facilities and you run all of our events. And I think a lot of people that come into our buildings, come to the city park and see our games, they definitely see a professional and very smooth running event. So what kind of got you started with running the events at Monroe, and what's something you really take pride in with that?
So, like I said, every job, every opportunity that Monroe has gave me has been tremendously great for me. I am the type of person that once I come in the morning, and you probably see it yourself, everything is all set up. Even if it has to be the night before, I make sure things are set up. People tell me I'm crazy going to the football field, super. At the end of the day, Dave, you always know that something's always never perfect on the field. So my job is to get there early, set up the field, test every equipment. Doesn't matter if it was working the day before, I still get it done. At the end of the day, I want to be a good host for the college. I'm always the first person to be there, the last person to leave, and I want the visiting teams to feel comfortable. I want them to make sure that they have someone to report to. And like I said, it's more about the fans. It's more about giving them and the student athlete the opportunity. Hey, don't worry about anything outside of the game event. Focus on your game. I handle everything outside. And same thing goes upstairs with the game operation. I'm always moving around, making sure things are running smooth. Even if it's a second of a basketball game and they don't press the clock at the right time, I'm like, hey, I just address them. I make sure that they're doing things right. And at the end of the day, you want to run this like everyone is watching this game on TV. There's a lot of things that happens right behind the scenes that nobody sees, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of work, and I really appreciate it. I dedicate my time towards it. And if it's for the students and for the coaches, might as well. I never had this opportunity, and I like to give them all of me in there and in that kind of job. And even if I'm exhausted or tired, I still give my 110% every day.
Yeah, I get a lot of compliments after a lot of our games from officials and from visiting parents, from home parents, different coaches all the time. They come up and say, "You guys just run a great show." And one thing I always make sure is that, while sometimes I can take credit for those things, I make sure that I point in your direction and make sure that they know who really kind of set all this up, make sure that everyone's doing their job and doing the right thing all the time. So, you obviously deserve tons of credit for
Appreciate it, but
everything we put on.
it's always a department work, and I never take fully credit for everything. I give credits to our department, starting from our AD, yourself, our compliance office, our trainers. Our trainers don't get a lot of credits, but they are the one that keep the athletes healthy, give them treatment, and it's our student workers, all the efforts they put in. And, without you guys, this wouldn't be a show. It wouldn't be the game the way it should be run.
So you've been working with, our boss, head baseball coach, athletic director Lou Mendez for a long time. When did you first meet Lou?
So, funny story. So when I was at Briarcliff, I met Lou on my freshman year of playing baseball at Briarcliff. So that was when the first program started. So Lou was an assistant coach. So Kiko Reyes was the head coach at that time, which is his daughter's godfather. So the following year, Lou became the head coach, and ever since then, I was a very disciplined player. I show respect towards the game. I make sure that the game was played the right way. I wasn't the type of player that just yell, rah, 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 all the chatting. I was just very quiet when I play, and I play the game the right way. I play hard. Once you cross that line, that's always you play the game the right way because you never know who's watching. And I kind of, Lou had access towards me. A lot of scouts was looking for me, had wanted me, hey, do you have contacts towards Francis? And Lou was the only one. Lou was the only one, so they reached out to him a lot. And, and I started building a relationship. He found out about my accident. He asked me, hey, if you want a job, you're more than welcome to work with us after you graduate from college. So, I thought about it. I went to the Dominican Republic for a year, just to pick up, just to relax, see my family, just to pick up some brains at baseball, at the coaching world. So I came back, still was trying to decide whether should I coach or should I just, try to give it one more try. And you know what? And I was like, you know what? I think it's time. I spoke to my parents, my dad. I think it was time. I think it was time. I think I should just move on. And, Lou gave me an opportunity. And then that fall, I started coaching. So when I first started coaching, and I want to give some suggestion to a lot of young coaches when they first start coaching. When you first start coaching at the college level, you want to observe. You want to pick up the culture of the program. You want to take notes of everything you do, of the way practice is run. And, and then just start implementing a lot of things here and there, and that's what I did my first year as an assistant coach. So that year, we started getting a lot of players. So I was like, hey, might as well, we should start a JV program. So I was the first JV coach, started as a club team. I developed, through my experience from the floor, all the note taking that I did, I used it towards the JV program, and we competed with clubs, Fordham Universities, Hofstra, Boston College, and Rutgers and stuff. So I developed that, and then ever since then, we've just been having a JV program, and and I've been assistant coach at the college level with Lou, first base coach, a fungal man, BP thrower. I'm like basically his second oldest coach on his program, and it's been very, and I thank him every day. He's just been great towards me. I learned a lot from him, from the administration side of it, and also as coaching, and not only as a coach, but also as a parent. As a husband. I pick up a lot of things from him and his kids and his wife when they do events and stuff. So he's just been a great mentor, like a big brother towards me that I never had. Anything I could talk to him about anything, and he's there for me. He's straightforward. He tells me things how it's supposed to be done, and I don't crumb around and then just be like, oh no, it's not, doesn't go like that. I just, it's just something that I want to learn from him. And I'm very appreciative for everything that he's done.
Yeah, I think one of the things that both of us really appreciate about Lou Mendez is that he's a straight shooter and doesn't really he tells you like it is. So it definitely helps make you a better person when he tells you something, whether you're doing it right or doing it wrong, whether he appreciates it or hates it. You know how he's feeling. So uh, at some point we'll get him on this as well, and I'm sure we'll hear a lot of that from him.
I'm pretty
But
sure.
Hey Mustangs! I just wanted to tell you about the brand new Monroe MustHangs sideline store, powered by our apparel partner BSN Sports. Create your own unique piece of Mustang gear by choosing from hundreds of apparel options, colors, graphics, and your choice of the new Monroe MustHangs logo collection. Through the month of September, save 15% on your order of $90 or more with the code SEPT20. Visit the Monroe Mustang Sideline store at monroecollegemustangs.com/shop and gear up for the new school year.
One of the things you mentioned is that you're the fungo guy doing the infield outfield for us. I'm going to hopefully get that one of those videos on this video for us here. But I mean, a lot of people have just been mesmerized by the way you do that, the way you flip the bat and it's so consistent and so smooth. Where did you learn to do that?
When I first started coaching here, it's just something. I guess I needed to find a rhythm. In hitting, when you batting, you have a rhythm. As an infielder, you move your feet a lot, you have a rhythm. So, as a hitter, like, you can't be too stiff. You can't be too stiff and take a pitch. You got to have a rhythm. And for me, just twerking the bat was my rhythm. It was something, I guess you want to call it a swag, a style, but something that just stuck with me, and it looks easy. It looks smooth, like I just flip it, hit it, And I know a lot of people ask me how I do it. It's just something. It's just something just to keep everybody entertained. And like I said, when you on the field, you doing a Broadway show. It's for the fan. You play the game you love, but also you want to entertain them at the same time. And it just stuck with me for the whole entire college career as a coach.
Well, I know, unfortunately for our home games, a lot of time you're doing that before the crowd shows up. But the 2 years that we've been at the JUCO World Series, I know they took note of it. It's been some of our most liked and viewed videos on our Instagram page and Twitter pages. It's just you flipping the bat around and hitting the ball. I know they've made note of it on the JUCO World Series broadcast and on their social media pages as well. So, obviously, you're mesmerizing, entertaining a lot of people out there when we go. So let's actually talk about that a little bit. Obviously, this year we didn't get the chance to go out to the JUCO World Series again. I know a lot of us were confident in making that trip for a third year in a row, but you were with this team for a long time. Finally, 2018, we broke through, won the district championship for the first time, got to the JUCO World Series, and then did it again the next season. What's that experience been like? Just kind of like finally seeing this program build up to that moment, and then getting out there and finally getting to experience that.
Well, before our first appearance at the JUCO World Series, we were so close in the years past. But for some reason, we just knew how to plug in the pieces together. And that first year getting there was amazing. I been playing in front of thousands of crowds, fans, and it's unbelievable. National TV, you got the cameras on you, a lot of interviews, a lot of signing autograph everywhere you went or you go. They knew who you were. You could be sitting on a restaurant and they know, oh, JUCO, like you guys are from the Monroe, they knew. So for me, having that experience was amazing. Our first year there was a little nerve-wracking. We didn't know what to expect. But moving on to the second year in a row, we knew our goals. We know our goals every year. That's our goal, getting to a College World Series every season. So getting there to the second year was very more calm, more confidence. Our players show, our second year players, which, they've been there for the first year. They got to talk to a lot of freshmen. Hey, you gotta, what to expect, what the expectation are. Just focus. And like I said, we tell our kids, like I specifically tell them that they ask me, hey, coach, how do you eliminate the fans from the background? Hey, just put your cap on down, keep your eyes focused straight, don't look up, don't look above, because now you're gonna see everybody, And Dave, to be honest, I think it's one of the best events across the country. Grand Junction does a good job. The fans at Grand Junction are incredible. They're very supportive. It's all about the kids there. They doesn't matter what team it is, who wins or lose, they are always there. I still get a lot of emails, phone calls from fans. We always exchange phone number because you never know. You never know what kind of when you're gonna be there again. So it's like a great life opportunity. We're talking about over 300 schools. Only 10 makes it to that tournament. And it's very competitive. And then, seeing guys and players that could play and being drafted top rounds, first rounders, it was impressive when we got to see Rugler. I think that's his name, Rugler, from the Nationals, #1 pick. He wasn't a normal kid. Like, he was built like a big leaguer. So a lot of our players were like, holy cow, But, we lost to him 3-2. And then, it was a great challenge. It was a great opportunity to get to see him play. And, and then that kid has a good future in the family. So those are the type of caliber players we get to see at the World Series. And there's no room for mistakes. Once you make a mistake, they capitalize on it. And, those are mistakes. Those are learning experience that we have taken the past 2 years. And if we can accomplish eliminate those mistakes, I think we can move on to the next rounds. And, but it's a grind. It's a grind. It's a lot of hard work there. Just play the game the way you've been playing all season long. And then I think everything will fall into places.
Now, I missed the first trip out to Grand Junction the first time we made it. I regretted that every day that I saw you guys enjoying it. But I got to get out there year 2 and experience all the hype. I know the first year there was so much fanfare for us. There were feature articles, and we were getting on TV out there all the time. And I was getting requests all the way back in New Rochelle, just trying to set up some interviews, things like that. And I just know that for some reason, the fans out there just really took to us and just became big fans of the Monroe Mustangs. And then year 2, we came back and the same kids were there rooting for us. Found a whole new batch of fans as well, and I really got to experience that. But what do you think it was about our team and our players that really resonated with the fans out there, and why they still contact you all the time?
I think it's our character, the way we are. We're very diverse, very they call us the United Nations team. I guess we have different players from different part of the country. And then, our players took their time to talk to the kids and the fans. They never rejected a player or a fan for autographs or pictures or have a conversation, or do community service with special need kids. And people actually do see those little things, Even in between innings, our players talks to the fans, on the dugout, from behind the dugout, or what pitcher was on the bullpen. They have conversation. And that's very important as a human being, just because, like I said, you got to have some morals in life. You have to be someone in life, because Grand Junction, towards us, we are their pro teams. We are future professional major league players, A lot of major leaguers has gone JUCO and played at that stadium, at that event, and you experienced it. You seen it last 2 years ago, our last time we went there. It was just amazing. Even in our practice section, they just trying to get some autograph and stuff like that. And for me and for us, I think it's a good thing for them, just because a lot of our players never left New York, let's say, or where they came from, and they get to experience this kind of event. It's just amazing opportunity for them.
Yeah, I'll say one of my biggest takeaways from that trip when I was out there was just how professional and how like warm a lot of our student athletes were. And, you're talking about the kids who maybe have the biggest egos on the team to the kids at the end of the lineup that, you don't hear too much from. And every single one of them, they went up to every kid that wanted to talk to them. They went up to every adult, every media outlet that wanted to get them on camera. Their personalities really shined when I was out there. And I just, it just speaks to the character of the student athlete that we bring in here, whether it's, the kind of kid we recruit or the kind of kid we build up to be like that. You really saw them grow out there. And I think it helps a lot of them too when they go on to that next school and they play at the Division I level, or they play at a big school out in Texas or wherever they feel like going. I'm sure that experience really helps them kind of get comfortable going on the road and being away from home and, being in the spotlight. What is just backtracking a little bit on just your relationship with student athletes? Like, what do you think it is about Monroe that kind of brings in really strong character student athletes? And that goes beyond just baseball. It goes to our football teams and our basketball teams, our soccer teams, all the teams. I don't want to take the time to name everything, but just what do you think it is about us that builds and attracts a strong character student athlete?
I think it's just the history that the program has built, the athletic program has built in the past. And also, you got to give a lot of credit to our coaching staff, all our coaches in the department. They give 110% at all time. When they promise them something, they actually promise them what they deserve. And just taking care of them. Making sure they get that degree, always pushing them to go to class. Making sure they're doing the right thing, and moving on to the 4-year schools. And it's a close relationship being with them. They noticed it. It's more like a family environment, I would say. But it's I've been here for since 2000, that long, and it's that's the way I see it. It's just being close towards them. I got a lot of players from the past. When I first started here, they reach out to me, and always being appreciative and saying thank you for the opportunity, thank you for being the person I am now. Like, without you guys, I wouldn't be this type of person. I don't know what I would be. So I guess they look at us like a big mentor, great influence in their life, and to feel like that, it's been very it's an honor, to be honest, and it's always great, but also like pushing them to the extra mile. That sports is not only sports, but you got to take care of stuff in the classroom. And with that degree, once you get that degree, nobody's going to take it away from you. Sports, anything can happen. I always tell my baseball player, only one makes it to professional baseball, 1% makes it. But take that opportunity and get that degree. Throughout baseball, opens up a lot of avenues, in life. So the same thing with basketball, same thing with football, same thing with soccer, same thing with volleyball. It just opens up. It's another open door for opportunities. And being young, a lot of kids don't understand that, but I think it's the right way to move forward towards life, and get that degree.
How, like I said, it speaks about the kind of student athlete we get, but we had an unprecedented amount of success this season. Starting with the fall with the men's soccer team winning the national championship, the women's soccer team getting, a couple goals away from repeating as national champions. Volleyball made it to the national tournament. Football was on, playing in a bowl game. We have the basketball teams both qualifying for the national tournament. We have cross country going to the national tournament once again. Indoor track and field, we had the 4x800 relays winning their national titles, and just our teams just competing at that top level. Unfortunately, then our seasons got cut short. Right at the beginning of baseball season and softball season, and outdoor track and field didn't get started. The basketball teams didn't actually get to go to the national tournament because it was canceled. So what was it like that day for you when we had to tell the student athletes that their seasons were over?
It was a little heartbroken. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I said, we never experienced something like this before. But it was tough. It was tough. We just got back from Louisiana, Texas. play it 3 days later, 4 days later, we play at home, and then next day we just get canceled. I guess we were the first school in the country to get canceled, I believe. But sometimes you got to take care of your health. Being healthy is more important than playing. But it was heartbroken. Like, a lot of kids, this is the only thing they had, the only opportunity they probably had to move on, and it just went down the drain. Especially for baseball, I get to see these kids every day. We grind every day, morning and night, and our practice schedule. Just all that hard work that we put in, all the sacrifice that we made as a coaching staff, as a player. Practicing late at night, waking up early in the next day, Saturday morning, just to condition and stuff. It takes a lot of sacrifice. And putting your family to the side just to sacrifice a month and a half for all this hard work, it takes a lot. And it's something that we couldn't control. But with the pandemic, with the whole COVID-19, but at the end of the day, we got to take care of ourselves. We can't just go out there and compete and God forbid one of us gets sick and we start spreading the disease around. It's like I said, it's the first time in history that this has happened. Still, we still undecisive right now when it comes to full sports. They push every team in the spring. It's going to be a challenge, but just watching NBA, MLB, all the professional team playing now is a challenge for them. It's been a challenge, and it's also taking a risk. So it was very devastated for our student athlete. I never seen a lot of kids cry. My eyes got watery at the moment, and I understand. I understand where it comes from, all the hard work they put in, and also we got to look out for them as well.
Yeah, I know exactly what you were feeling that day because I was in the same room when Lou broke the news to everybody. I think everyone knew what was coming, but just kind of hearing the words and knowing that it was actually happening was very difficult for everyone. But as you mentioned, obviously we're not going to have any fall sports right now. Everything's pushed to the spring, and of course that makes things extremely challenging for both you and I because we're there for everything. We're going to have, for the first time ever, we're going to have all those fall sports right on top of all the winter sports and right on top of all the spring sports. So, right around March when everything peaks and everything's happening literally at the same time, I'm sure you and I are going to be incredibly busy and just trying to figure out what we're doing with our lives. But, since March, obviously things have just been paused for us. As I said, you're someone that you're there early in the morning till late at night. And I know you still, this entire time you were still kind of popping into the office a few hours a day, but what kind of other things have you been up to since we kind of closed things down for a while?
I've been working out at the house, obviously when the whole pandemic been started. So worked out at the house, wake up early in the morning, I'm an early bird. Just trying to get some workout in, stay healthy, did a lot of reading, did a lot of, research on the whole pandemic just to keep myself updated with current events. But I did a lot of reading. I did a lot of reading during the whole pandemic. Play a lot of video games, as you know. Just trying to be active. I try to come into the office so I just could refresh my mind a little bit, not just stay in four walls. Get a little work done. Obviously, I had projects going on, and we finally got the floor done, so I was working on that. Just getting ready, and then, obviously scheduling the whole preseason, I had a preseason schedule already set, but obviously everything due to AJCAA pushing everything back, it kind of threw that to the side. So now I'm just, I wish I could have gone paintballing, but our paintball field wasn't open. As you know, I'm a big paintball guy, so try to enjoy the time with the guys, with my paintball buddies. But as right now, I can't take the risk. I told them, like, even though it's open right now, it's an open field, but I told them I can't take the risk. I work at the college community at the higher ed. I see a lot of students, so I don't want to take that risk. And I just wait for everything just calms down a little bit, and be normal, back to normal, hopefully, and I get back on the field as soon as I can.
I was going to bring up the paintball, actually. It's funny that you mentioned it, because I remember one of the first times that I met you, I think I walked in and you were on your paintball website and just telling me everything you do for it, and just the kind of the ways that you went above and beyond, just doing video and photos for that as well. So again, that's just one of the times I knew right away that you were just so committed to basically everything you do. Running a little low on time, but I wanted to hear about the paintball and to say, like, how did you get into it, and like what made you so passionate about it?
So I needed to find a hobby. Like I said, I was taking pictures, photography. I have a lot of friends that ask me, hey, you want to play baseball? You want to play baseball? At some point, your body gives up. It's not the same when you were back student athlete and you're not in shape. So I needed to find something where I could run, move around. So I was like, one of my buddies asked me, hey, let's go paintball. I'm like, oh, I never done it. Let me try it. So I liked it, and a lot of my friends are law enforcement officers, and they work on the job, and they asked me, hey, let's go paintball every other Sunday. Let's give it a try. So I did. So I became good at it. So I'm like, I think it's worth it. It's expensive if you don't have your own equipment, but once you get your own equipment, it's pretty much your own. So kind of liked it, and then I was like, you know what, we should create a team. Let's go compete. So started up a team. Obviously, then they need team captain, team president. So all these organizations got sponsorship with paintball sponsorship, which is fine. Sponsorship, which has been great. It helps us a lot. Travel different part of the country just to be on tournaments and stuff has been great. So it's been very competitive, and I like it because you compete. It's all about competing, and at that level, anybody could play. I play with guys that are in charge of video games, professional guys, the celebrities. They are in charge of video games and branding. And it's great, because you get to see them, you get to mingle them around, and they like awesome people to talk to and their experience. So it's like it's a big paintball. There is a big paintball community out there, and it's just fun. It's a good environment. Everybody competes. Everybody gets along. You got a lot of, like I said, you got a lot of ex-military. That's all they do. A lot of law enforcement. They like to get there with the boys, with the guys, and just have a good time.
I think that's definitely just one of those things about being a student athlete, or even just someone that loves sports. I was not a student athlete myself, so just as someone that loves sports, you get those competitive urges all the time. So it's always good to have an outlet to, just let it all out every once in a while. So I'm glad you have that, something that you can do consistently. And I know you miss doing it, but we appreciate that you're thinking about our student athletes when you're holding off doing that. So hopefully you can get back to that soon, and hopefully we're going to get things back to normal on campus as well very soon. At the time of this recording, student athletes, or not student athletes, but students in general are starting to come back on campus. I know we've seen the campus going through all the protocols, making sure that everyone's as safe as possible, the staff, the faculty, the students especially. So, I'm looking forward to seeing how this semester goes with us. That's about our time today for this interview. So Francis, I want to thank you for coming on for episode 2 of Monroe MustHangs. I hope everyone watching and listening has enjoyed this. Looking forward to continuing this series, getting some more coaches and staff members and student athletes and alumni on here. And we'll see how this goes. We have a lot of time this semester, so we're trying to make a big thing of this. So, for those listening and watching, make sure you comment, let us know how we're doing, what you'd like to see, who you'd like to see. Hopefully we get to hear from more people like Francis that, not everyone gets to hear from all the time, but are people that, we know personally are big members of our department. So Francis, again, thank you for coming on, and everyone else, stay safe out there, and we're looking forward to the next one.
Dave, thanks for having me. It's great catching up. I know I haven't seen you in a while, but I'm glad you're doing good. And hopefully I'll see you back in campus soon, man. And let's get things rolling out here.
Yeah. Luckily I can work from home for now, but you'll be seeing me soon. I'll be stopping in at some point soon.
You got it, man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Francis. Appreciate it.